Hello, today we're going to talk about Lesson 6. Now, Lesson 6 talks about factors and divisibility. Now, we always have to have a couple of vocabulary words. So, one of the words, and we're actually familiar with this, is the word factor. Okay, the factors of a number are the numbers that divide that number evenly with no remainders. Remember earlier we learned that factor times factor equals product. And likewise, if you took product and you divided it by one of the factors, you would end up with the other factor. So that's the relationship between factors. Okay? There are three basic ways to find the factors of a number. One of them you're probably quite familiar with, and that's called a factor tree. Now, factor trees are great, and if you learn how to find factors with a factor tree, you are good. The only problem is that the factor tree doesn't find all the factors, it just finds the prime factors. So, for instance, if you had the number 12, you would go 2 times 6 and then 2 times 3. Now, 2 is a factor, and 3 is a factor, and 2 and 3 is a factor, but 2 times 2 is 4, that's a factor, and 3 times 2 is 6, and that's also a factor of 12. So it's a little, it requires a little bit of work to probably make that happen. Another way that people have found to find factors is to find the matching pairs. And actually this one is kind of fun. Okay, let's say we take the number 70. We're going to find all the factors of 70. And we start out and we kind of make a wide grid here. Okay, I'll move this up just a little bit. You got 1 and you got 70. Okay, 1 and 70 are factors of 70. Does 2 go into 70? Yeah, because it's even. 2 times 35. Okay, now I don't think 3 does. And I'm pretty sure that 4 doesn't. But I know 5 does because it ends with 0. So 5, and if you think about it a little bit, you probably would know, otherwise you can divide 5 and 14. 6 doesn't go into 70 evenly, but 7 does, and it's 7 times 10, and 8 doesn't, and 9 doesn't, so now we have our factor. I call these factor pairs, and these indeed are all the factors of 70. Now, there's a third way to find it, and again, you're going to find mostly the prime factors, and that's, of course, downward division. And it's similar to the factor tree, and I won't show it right this moment because it does take a little time, and it's still just going to find you the prime factors. Okay? Now, one thing that you guys have to keep in the back of your mind are the tests for divisibility. Okay? And those tests for divisibility are on page 42 of your book. You know, just go to that page when you have a little time and take a look at it, because those are important when you are looking to find things like the greatest common factor or least common multiple. It's nice to know what those tests for divisibility are. Now, we are going to talk a little bit about greatest common factor because we need that. Okay, the greatest common factor, G-R-E-A-T-E-S-T, often referred to as a GCF. Okay, that is the largest number that will go into two numbers that we're choosing evenly. For instance, let's choose 18 and 30. Okay, let's do our factor pairs for 18 because that worked pretty good. We have 1 and 18, 2 and 9, and 3 and 6. Okay, that works. And then we have 30, which we have 1 and 30. Whoops, yeah, I guess I'm a little far enough. 2 and 15, 3 and 10, 5 and 6. So there's our factors for 18 and 30. Now, all we have to do is stack these one on the other, and we're looking for the biggest one that's common to both. So I would just do this. 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 18. That's my factors of 18. And then I would write 30 here, and I go 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 10, 15, and 30. Remember, the greatest common factor is the largest number that goes into both evenly. Okay, so we'll just start looking here. We have 1 and 1. Okay, 2 and 2, 3 and 3. We don't have a 5, but we have 6 and 6. 9, nope. 10, nope. 18, nope. So we're done. That's all the further we can go. Largest common factor, the greatest one, is this 6. So the GCF of 18 and 30 is 6. And that's a really good method to find it. Now, there's another way that we could find it, and this is going to be using downward division. This works really kind of cool with this, and it is the shortest way to find it. I don't remember if we've talked about downward division, but we're going to talk about it right now. Downward division was actually developed by the, I have to think for a second, I think it's the Chinese, or the, I think it's Chinese, and is a way of finding factors. This is double downward division, so we've got 18 and 30, and we're going to see what numbers we can take into both. They're both even, we can take 2 into it, so we end up with 9 and 15. 2 doesn't go into it again, but these are both divisible by 3, so we'll take 3. 3 and 5. Nothing else goes into both, and these are our two numbers that we found here on the left hand side. If we took 2 times 3, we would get 6, and that incidentally is the same thing we found up here. And so this is the GCF of 18 and 30 is 2 times 3, which is 6. This, by the way, is the shortest method to find the GCF. Okay, so, and we can do it with one other number just so that you see a little bit of practice here. Let's find the GCF of, let's say, this will be easy. How about the GCF of 15 and 25? Okay, so we want to find the GCF of 15 and 25. So, let's use downward division. What number goes into both of these? Yes, 5. 5 goes into 15 3 times. 5 goes into 25, 5. And guess what? Nothing else goes into there. GCF of 15 and 25 is 5. One step, basically. I hope this has helped you. This is the end of Lesson 6 lecture. You have an awesome day, and we'll talk to you later.